Welcome to the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Cramer. Today we have with us our special guest, Patrice Bisiot. He is a style interventionist. I love that. You're also an author and you are a speaker. And I want to first and foremost welcome you to the show. And then you have to tell us what is it that you are doing? Because I mean, come on, style interventionist. That's not something that we're typically talking about when we're talking about business. And yet it is so incredibly important.
Yes, Alicia, thank you so much for having me. So a quick journey. It started out in Paris, where I'm from. 18 years old, I was managing 3 salons because hair was the craft that I had chosen because very early on, I knew I was going to be my own boss, my own man, my own entrepreneur, although I didn't know the word yet. I just knew having a boss above me, not really a good thing, but I had to start somewhere. And very quickly, by the age of 18, I went from being with a clientele to managing 3 salons. And those 3 salons were a very high-end brand in Paris, but I was like, I need more. There's so much more. There's the world out there for me to conquer. And that's when I moved to Miami. The company I was working for opened up a salon in Bar Harbor Shops, which is essentially the Beverly Hills, the rodeo drive of Beverly Hills. And that's when everything started clicking together because here I am in the most luxury market, which I was already in Paris, but now I'm like, okay, got it. But now I want my own business. So a few months later, by the age of 19, I opened my own place because again, now this was clear. I had to be my own boss. But in the journey of that, there was a lot of success. I created a lot of arrogance I was cultivating because I'm like, I'm young and I'm successful and I'm it. So from it very quickly, I also knew that if I wanted to conquer more the red carpet, Hollywood, that was always my dream, I had to hire a PR, which I did. So in Beverly Hills, I hired who became my publicist, and now she built my brand. So by being present with celebrities in the award shows on the red carpet, that allowed me to start crafting what I was doing because not only I was helping them with their appearance, but I started also enlarging my clientele with global leaders and people that were making a difference in this world, but not just on the appearance thing. And very quickly, when someone would say, I want to look great, I want to look amazing, make me like the most beautiful one on a red carpet, for instance, I would say, but that means nothing. I want to look gorgeous. Yeah, but you're gorgeous. It's not my gorgeous. The way we mature emotionally a word is going to be a very different message. So what is your gorgeous? Now you need to tell me 3 words that are going to help me really understanding how you feel about gorgeous. And that's how little by little, I realized that I had a gift. But actually, because people were validating this gift to say, oh my God, you need to teach that. And I say, well, I can't. It's just natural. But really, I felt like, no, I need to really share it with the world. And the first book, Mind Your Hair, was about the psychology of hair. Like one day, basically, the story is, any girl of the world, I don't feel good in my hair today. I don't feel good in my life. I'm going to change my hair or change my life. The deal is done. Well, not quite. So the book was 7 steps to go throughout a hair makeover successfully. And that really was the beginning of the journey. The Style Interventionist was starting really brewing because I was also understanding what I was doing because I have been doing it my whole life intuitively. And in the book, I reveal it where for my second book, where I was doing it when I was a kid. And that's what Style Interventionist is really becoming this person who says, all right, you have a message. I get it. You're hiring me to do so. But before we do, you're going to realize what it is. And now my second book coming out, Mind Your Impact, Style Interventionist, is all about that. It's all about saying, hey, you want to be successful? The portal of that is the way you look. And not just because of the way you look, it's the way you are going to convey a message. And now you're going to quantify it with money, with fame, whatever goal you have. That's going to be the beginning of the conversation, because the moment you walk into the room, and that's my motto, which is you only have a nanosecond to make a life-lasting impact. Meaning, first of all, they tell you you have 5 seconds, 7 seconds. You don't. It's immediate. The brain has already registered all the signals on you and say, here I go. I understand who that person is. And that's what Style Interventionist is 20 years later.
You are big on the psychology behind an individual's brand. So let's talk a little bit about that, because we're talking right now to entrepreneurs. We're talking to business professionals. A lot of times people are really good at their thing, right? You're good at your thing. You're an expert at your thing. I'm damn good at my thing. I'm an expert at my thing.
Sure.
But a big part of this whole business formula is marketing, branding. You've got to get yourself out there, and your brand is a representation of you. You can't do your thing if you don't have clients and customers. And the way that our clients and customers feel when they have that initial connection with us, that's going to determine even if they become a client or customer. But we want them to know us. We want them to really connect energetically with us. And that conveys through branding. So what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, you see, that's the thing, because society is now, they love using words, and it becomes a fashionable word. And right now, branding, the last, 5 years, we can really say we hear about it, like heavily. Your brand, be your brand, own your brand, build your brand. Okay. But then everybody seems to think that it's the logo on your business card, it's the maybe interior if you have a brick and mortar business, it's the colors you picked on the wall, or else it's maybe the website, the way you have designed your website. That's a little part of it. What clients are buying from you is, and I love to go through it, but now we have to go quickly, but I love to do my little questions to get the client to say it. Well, it's authenticity. Because if you don't show up out there as who you are, well, you're selling a lie, essentially, and trying to be something and represent something or say something that's really not you, or wear something that's not you either. Well, the clients, they can perceive that, because that's the thing. Authenticity is what you need first, because now with authenticity, you ignite trust. Well, now, if somebody trusts you, they're going to spend money with you. They're going to listen to you. They're going to listen to your expertise. They want to really hear it from you. Like, all right, you think you could turn my business around? You could sell me that thing that's going to be the revolution of my business? Whatever it is, a hard good, a service, it doesn't matter. The message, the beginning of the message comes from you. This is why when people hire me, they feel like, okay, I'm going to be the wardrobe magician. And I'm like, no, I'm not a wardrobe stylist. I'm going to help you with it. But that's literally the wardrobe part is about 20% of the 100% of the work we're going to do together for 9 weeks. Because if I don't know who you are, and if you don't know who you are, tell me how I'm going to put something on you that represents who you are. That doesn't work that way. And that's where entrepreneurs have also another thing is, I want to make money. Yeah, we all want to make money. Guys, girls of the world, relax. Everyone wants to make money. But in order to make money, I have to get out there, show authenticity, passion, by the way. That's now igniting the trust I was talking about. And now we have a conversation, because if you don't have all those elements prior to it, or whatever you wear is so not here. For instance, you're selling something that's super cutting edge, but you look like you were dressed from 1993. Well, the client is like, okay, there's a disconnect between you telling me you could sell me the future, but you look like the past. I'd like to know how that's going to work with my company, who's super edgy. I just spent $10 million in, investing in marketing and all that. Now I need to know that you're going to really implement my business the way I see it. And that's the importance of what I do.
So there's a lot of congruency we're talking about here.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who are incredibly incongruent.
All the time. I see it all the time. And I see it on TV. I see it everywhere. Like, it's like, but you're not matching the words you're saying, or you're not looking the way you're presenting something. And here you are, pitching the client of the life, or whatever the message is, even on a date. And it's like, okay, I'm confused. Like, I could tell that you either didn't give it thoughts, made it on a wing and a prayer, or else you just don't care, or you think you're above it. Well, none of the above are going to create success, believe me. And as an entrepreneur, you need to know who you are first in order to get out there and sell whatever you have to.
So you help your clients discover that.
Yes, exactly. That's the big aha moment for them, because literally within 30 minutes into it, literally, probably even less, but let's say 30 minutes, and they go, oh my God, this is a lot deeper. I mean, actually, this is as deep as I never imagined. And then I go back simply to what I said earlier. How can I help you to present the message you want to convey to the world if I don't know who you are? But now, more importantly, forget that I know who you are. You need to know who you are in order now to really build the pieces. So basically, it's a puzzle. I get the box, we check it off, the pieces are everywhere, and it's like, all right, I got all the pieces. What order do we put them in? So we construct entirely your message, because the message is like a movie scene. You walk back from it, you're looking at everything, and little by little by little by little, you narrow down until the most intricate detail. And now we have understood your brand. You have understood yourself, because you are your brand. That's the thing. Again, brand is not just all the technical stuff that comes around you. It's you. Clients are buying you. And some entrepreneurs, before they get entrepreneur, they're employees. And they're like, yeah, but I represent the brand. That's not my brand. Who cares? The client is buying from you. He's buying you, because clients are referring their notion from what they're looking like, what they're looking at, what they're hearing from you, what they're capturing from you, your essence, your energy, everything about you. If you come with confidence, everybody wants to know. And I don't care, entrepreneur or employees, it's the same thing. The message is equally the same. When you leave your home, you need to know who you are first, and then you're going to go out there and conquer the world.
Love it. So you have a new book that is coming out, and some of our listeners are going to be catching this pre-launch, and some of our listeners who may be listening to this a year or 2 years from now, this book is already going to be out. Tell us about the book.
Okay. So the book is a labor of love. 5 years, not, just like, oh yeah, let me put a second book out. No. By putting a second book out, I'm showing how passionate I am about my craft. But I also understood that I needed to simplify 5 greater style, although it's beautifully and eloquently expressed, because I had an amazing editor, a content editor, that was able to dig through my brain to get all the info. And that's why it took so long. And of course, I wanted to have that book 5 years ago on the shelves. And that book, whether now, in 1 year, and that's really the important thing, and I'm going to make sure I'm making it so clear. This book, if you have listeners in 10 years from now, this book is still going to be super current, like it just launched yesterday. Why? Because I was able to finally put it into simple words, to knowing that in 9 chapters, 140 pages, it's a very quick read. It's not some, but I wanted it to be the Bible of branding. That's my absolute legacy I want to leave with this book, because I have understood branding, but in a way that everybody can after they're done with me. And like, oh my God, I just did a webinar a couple of weeks ago live, and I gave the 7 steps to create your brand. Of course, there's a lot to it, but already they had a frame and they were like, whoa, I didn't see how that worked. And this book is all of that. So 1 chapter at a time, 1 celebrity or 1 global leader at a time, I explained that I changed 1 thing on their appearance, not the whole look, because people think, oh my God, dramatic, because human, we are like that. We're very dramatic. We love the drama. It's like, 1 thing you need to change on you, your life will turn around. So of course it's like, and then it's like, oh wow, that worked. That's what I do. So that's what this book is all about, to make you understand. And then there's a lot more to it, because there's a QR code on each chapter, which anytime you're going to buy the book, and again, your question is that they buy this week, next week, or in 10 years, that QR code will always be updated with what's new, what's fresh, what's happening, what is the live event, maybe some free e-courses that I have for you. All of that good stuff comes together with this book.
Awesome. Love that. Now, one of the things that we have to talk about is your mindset, because we are talking to business owners who, we've all overcome challenges to get to where we are. And there is not really a top of the mountain. It's exponential. We can go as high as we desire to go. And that means we will continue to encounter old stuff and have to break through it. Tell us a little bit about your journey, because you've been doing this for a long time now. And you made a couple of fun references to the phenomenon of the raging ego early on in life. But even as the more wise business owner that you are today, what have you personally, without going into all of it, but what have you personally seen yourself overcome to get to where you are?
I love it. I address it in the book because it's a little bit of a bio, because I came from a point, and actually that was my hard-working editor that said, you need to give me pieces that why we're here today. How was that gift born? And I had to go back to painful memories of being bullied, being pushed over pretty good. And my father was not exactly, a kind person either. So I started developing this thing, looking at the world from a bubble. And that bubble I was looking at, so from inside, I felt I was protected, and I was looking at the world and reading patterns of behavior and so on and so forth. And then I decided, no, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to show all of you that was, you're a loser, you're this, you're that. And I was shy beyond words. So now there is a camera. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Okay, count 2, 3, what? I'm ready. That's the thing. And from it, I started realizing the gift I had. So now, journey entrepreneur, a lot of success quickly. 18 years old, I'm managing 3 salons in Paris. Now, it's not like, it was a huge deal. But that huge deal, actually, instead of helping me being like happy with myself, it made me arrogant. It made me, because I was so insecure. I came from a place where any little hole I could find, I would hide it. And suddenly I'm like, oh, wow, I'm actually in sight. Then I owned my business. There were pictures of me everywhere. I had a lot of campaigns going on. I was always using my picture because I was the face of my place, of my business. And I suddenly, became quote unquote please. And I was thinking, if by 40, I'm not a multi-millionaire, it's because I'm a loser, or else others are losers if they're not reaching that level of success. And then Hollywood didn't help anything, because suddenly I'm on the red carpet and everything is so cool that I'm in my tuxedo, I look great, and I'm working out on, on my body and my skin, and everything is all about the show. But the show is really to forget me as me. So fast forward, more success. Now I own 4 businesses up to 2009. Now, crashes come around. The real estate market crashed. So one of the 4 businesses was I was investing a lot of money in real estate. Now the market crashed. Oopsie, I bought all those pieces a year ago. That means now they're worth probably a quarter of their value. God knows when that's going to go up. My huge business that was in that building, now the owner, the landlord, decides, you know what, I need to take it down because nobody could pay, and there's not enough tenants for me to sustain this building. So bye-bye. 30 days, you're going to be out of here. Okay, then I had an interior design firm, because with a real estate, I was doing a lot of uh, turnkey projects, and those turnkey projects led me into doing a lot of designs as well, like on major properties. Anyway, I was quote unquote, but then I literally in 30 days, I went from everything went down like a hot potato. And then the business partner that I had, who was my best friend, stole from me. And he did that for 10 years, very incrementally. But he went for the hooray when it came to like, oh, okay, well, better take everything I can on the bank account because now it looks like it's not going to happen really, anytime soon. And I ended up sleeping in my car. And that was, to me, the turning point of me. Because I never spent time with me. Because with me, I was not comfortable. Actually, I didn't really like me, really, if I thought of it. Oh, yeah, I'm cool. And I got the abs and the wardrobe and the cars on the driveway and all the homes. But how happy was I? Oh, I'll think about it later. And that's when I was forced to be like, what just happened here? And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because by wrapping myself up in a very expensive blanket in the back of my SUV, I was like, wow, oh, that's how it works. I remember I heard those stories, but those stories to me were like, what? It feels successful. How do you lose your money overnight? You got to be really dumb for that. Oh, and now, hello, I'm the dumb one. And the dumb one was not dumb. It just happened. And I was forced to say, all right, what am I going to do with my life? Like, what? So, yes, I had the darkest ideas. And I thought, oh, my God, I'm such a loser. Who cares? I don't need to be here anymore. I can just go. No one will miss me. And then I said, oh, my God, what is wrong with me? I have everything for me. If anything, I have amassed so much experience. I've traveled already the world twice. I'm dealing with people you recognize on TV. I started out of zero. That's an accomplishment within itself. And that's when my entrepreneurial thing went, I took my sword and I took everything I could and said, no, I'm going to go. But instead of battling the world to prove to them, oh, I'm so cool and I'm so much better than you, it's like, well, let's work together. And in fact, let me shut up for a moment and listen to the world. Listen to stories, pay attention to stories, pay attention to details. More than I was doing because I was going so fast, traveling, first class, everything luxury. And it was 5-star. I had to be 7 stars. And now it's like, I'm going to relax into the moment. And I got also lucky because I met this guru that really was amazing to teach me, kindness, gratitude, present moment, and all those notions I've never heard of were suddenly like, oh, yeah, it's one of those Buddhist things. Well, those Buddhist things changed my life because I was able to turn on to me to say, but what is that I want to live as a legacy? What is my vision, mission, and purpose? I don't even know. I want to be rich. Oh, I want to be famous. Oh, rich and famous. Oh, yeah. That's what I wanted to do when I was a kid. But for what reason? What was the vision? What was my purpose? What was my vision on earth? What was the legacy I was going to leave behind me? And that's when everything made sense, when I still work with celebrities and all that, but differently. And then when my first book came out, I started being myself, about being more authentic and more about sharing deep stories that were hiding somewhere in my brain because I didn't want anyone to know. Oh, no. Childhood, perfect. Everything, beautiful. Everything was a movie. But now it's like, how about I embrace reality and I share it with the world? And that's the only way people are going to trust me in order to be with me, to listen to me, to my guidance, to make money together. And that's how my journey really went all together.
That is a deep, deep story. And I think it's one that a lot of people can relate to in different ways. Even those who have not had the type of monetary success or business growth that you had before having that kind of rock bottom moment, so to speak. But we've all had it. It's that turning point. It's that thing that knocks us down enough where we can sort of shake off all the BS that has been really the dominant driver of our life up to that point. And it's not serving us. We're not really who we are intended to be. So when you started to finally come into yourself, like recognizing who you are, what your real purpose was, what your passion was, what your gifts were. Now, when you sort of recreated yourself in a sense,
Yes.
I'm sure you still had a lot of growth that you had to do and are still doing, right? We all do. We're all growing.
Yes.
How much more do you like yourself now than you did before?
Well, I love myself. Wow. And there are days I don't. There are days very, very little, but on occasion, it's like, because the critical, the ego, the perfectionist that I used to be, they say old patterns die hard. But growth is every day. That's the thing with my entrepreneurs when they think, oh, okay, so you coach me. I spend 9 weeks with you. I spent all that money with you. Now I got evergreen success. And it is an evergreen recipe. But hello, growth and self-development is something that you work on your whole life. And that's where, it's like in a couple. And I love to give that analogy because very quickly people are a little more like, oh, got it. Oh, it's all exciting. I love you. I love you. Okay, we got to get married. Oh my God. And it's passion and it's sex and it's the adventure and it's the project for the future. And then it changes. But for most people, that change, they take it as, oh, I'm out of love with you. Oh, gotta go. Got either to cheat on you, divorce you, whatever it is. And that's the same where it's like, what? Oh, you thought that passion and that whole level of everything was going to be like that forever? Oh, good luck with that one. I mean, if that's the book, I want to read that book because I never read it. Now, if you come from a place to say, hey, let's observe the change, let's observe the evolution, because who I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, last year, just along with all the craziness we just went through. That's the thing. It's about learning to say, hey, how do I adapt to that? How do I enjoy it? And enjoying the present moment was something I never did before. And part of my growth is every morning, even if I'm a little bit chaotic in my head and the chatterbox keeps on going, I do spend my 5 minutes to quieting it. I have this beautiful sculpture, this art piece that I bought in New York a long time ago. That is a Buddha head and it's gorgeous. It's on a very tall stand. And it's just not because it's Buddha. So if it's Buddha, it's got to be good for you. But it's about reminding me when I open my eyes to see that serenity, that peace, that beautiful facial expression of rest. That rest means essentially live in the moment. Stop the drama. How many millions you're going to make is irrelevant. Because if you are all the good pieces of you before and forward, money will come. And entrepreneurs that have not understood that for so often that I'm with them saying, come on, guys, you need to stop that. Oh, but I want to be rich. The webinar I was referring earlier to was that like, I want, my goal is to make $1 million this year. Okay, that's the goal. Well, you have not understood. That's the byproduct of all the other pieces, the authenticity, the trust, the kindness, the present moment, the giving back. All of that together creates who you are now. And if all of that in peace, and that's when I said in development, self-development, but in success, there is such a big spiritual component. So then they think, oh my God, what do I need to do? To listen to Buddhist music every day? And it's like, you have not understood. Spirituality comes from the peace you have within. Because if you get out of your house all chaotic in your head, I'd like to know how successful you're going to be when the client is going to perceive that, your colleagues are going to perceive it, your employees, if you have, a company with employees. So growth is a permanent thing. Now, I do. I love myself. I really do. I recognize that I'm kind. I have a good heart. I help. And I help not with the publicity behind it. I help. I mentor. I give my time for free. I do all those things, but not. I never did it to receive something, but more so, I'm so mindful of being so happy to do it because it's rewarding, because you create success for others in many, many forms, in many ways. In fact, I'm coaching my friend's son who is 18, who just got to Georgia Tech, and I've been coaching him for about 9 months now. And we have a weekly call. It's so rewarding, helping one life at a time, to knowing that I'm actually helping this kid to become a better adult, and not because I'm better than him. But I said to him, I'm giving you 20 years ahead of you to actually learn how to handle a situation better, faster, with more angles, and looking at it from every perspective. And that's what it is. So growth is a permanent thing until the day we die.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I firmly believe this. Obviously, this is my area of specialization, is working on that mindset piece. Mindset really is the foundation beneath all of it.
Everything.
Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to go for it. If you don't have the right attitude, you're going to destroy all of those relationships. Not to mention all of the beliefs, and you personally experienced it. You can create success without doing the inner work, but it's hard. It's really hard because you still have all of those inner demons, for lack of a better term. You're contending with that every day of your life. No matter where you go, you're taking yourself with you. So doing the inner work is, I think, spiritual in and of itself. You can't be your full potential. You cannot give of yourself as fully as you could if you don't do the inner work. So I have to just thank you for being so vulnerable and sharing your personal journey with us. It's very inspiring, incredibly inspiring. And I think that that's really going to resonate with a lot of our listeners. That being said, I do also have to shine the light on your area of expertise, which is fantastic. So for our listeners who they just know, it's like, okay, I need to work on my external branding. I have to work on presenting myself in a way that is congruent with who I really am. And I need Patrice. How do they get in contact with you?
All right, so they go just simply on my website, which is imageimpactindex.com. Of course, there is Facebook with my first and last name, Patrice Bisiot, and Instagram. But on the web, it's really good because you connect with me on every level. And I have an email, and it's info@talktopatrice.com. And now you can ask me questions. I love to build a community. So I'm not just here because I have something to sell, and I do. Same thing. There is no shame in your game to wanting to make money with your knowledge because you spend all those years creating that craft and perfecting that craft. But I also love to give away. That's why I was always producing a lot of content out there. But if you want to reach me, imageimpactindex.com, or if you want to email me a question, absolutely, I will answer upon my traveling schedule and everything. But I promise you an answer, because I'm all about building a community together, and it's info@talktopatrice.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrice. This has been fantastic. And thank you to all of our listeners for tuning in. I really hope that this inspired you. And I encourage you to reach out to Patrice, check him out, see what he's doing. He might be the perfect person to help you get your branding on point. So, any final parting thoughts before we end today's show?
Of course, let's wrap it up. Girls and boys out there, you know what? You're an entrepreneur. Yes, you want to conquer the world your own way. Just be yourself. And it's like, oh, how do I do that? Simple. In the morning, and I mean it, not an analogy, not some sort of, again, of some guru power thing. Look at the mirror and see how you look at the mirror. All if you do is to go, oh, my body weight, oh, my wrinkle, oh, my hair is dry. You know what? Go back home, because you have no business to be out there. Now, if you look at the mirror and say, yeah, all right, I'm liking it. I'm actually loving it. Now you can get out there, because that's a great barometer for you to knowing I'm in peace with myself, or else, oh my God, it's too chaotic. I was able to pick 3 things that were wrong on me, and nothing is wrong on you. It's only wrong in your mind because the emotional attachment you took to, body shape, because in your mind, body shape is a certain way. Great hair is a certain way. Great skin is a certain way. Or maybe you think you're going to look 20 your whole life. Okay, great. Good luck with that. Back to the mirror. Before you leave your home, you look at it. You're in peace with it. Then get out there, show passion, authenticity, and everything will come, because now people are going to trust you and they're going to buy everything and anything you have for sale.
That's awesome. Love it. Perfect way to end today's show. Thank you again, Patrice. Thank you, everyone. And we'll see you on the next episode.